Geneva's parents are here right now, so we are going to attack some blackberries. Ready your weapons. It's a war. And you're going down. You're going down, I tell you.
Hey there, my name is Geneva and welcome to the Toss and Eva YouTube channel. Here we're documenting life as myself, my husband Thomas, and our daughter Eleanor have moved out of the city. We are starting a farm, and in this video we are putting in the garden. Now luckily we are working with a garden plot that already existed. It's just been neglected for a while. So we are carving back space from the blackberries, as you saw in the beginning here. We've killed a bunch of them already and are just doing some cleanup now. Blackberries are one of the most vicious weeds that we have where we live here in Oregon, and so it's really important that we cut them back and we get them out of the space that we're trying to grow in. We have a lot of work to do around the rest of the 1 acre property that we're renting, but we'll get to that in time.
Yeah, let's go measure the garden plot. So I'm here with my assistant, and we are going to be measuring the garden plot behind us where we're going to be growing most of our vegetables for this year, so that we can make a plan for what we're going to grow and where we're going to grow it. All right, so we have finished our measurements and we are looking at about 56 feet by 36 feet for our little garden area. As you can see over here, we've done some work on some blackberry brambles that were used to be all over, sort of climbing over this whole wall. There's still much cleanup to do and organization, but the bulk of it, we did a big clean out of a lot of them. So next we get to start planning and continue doing the detail work of getting these little blackberry brambles out of here. And so I'm doing a little bit of work on the roots, trying to get the root systems out, the root bulbs, whatever these things are. So I'm using this little hand hoe and digging away.
Here we are now on one of the first beautiful sunny days of the season, and we are doing some planning to start putting in our first garden bed. And I just want to say one thing right off the bat: we are not going to do this perfectly. I don't know if anyone had that expectation of us, but if you did, we will disappoint you. We have some experience. We had a small garden last year, and Thomas completed a very in-depth internship for a full growing season with a farm called Food Waves, a nonprofit who teach people to farm. And so we have some experience, but not a ton. And this is our first time doing it on our own in our own space. So you will see us do things that are not perfect. You will see us dig. I know some people aren't into that. You will see us step in the garden bed, and that's probably not a great idea. And, any number of things. But we're going for it, and that's what matters to us. And I think that's one of the biggest things that can potentially hold people back. I know it's held us back, just the fear of going for it imperfectly. So this is our year of just doing it and doing it the best that we can at any given moment. But more than anything, just doing it. You'll also see us use different methods in each bed. A lot of them are similar, but we're also just experimenting. Here we bought nice new wood planks, as you can see, to line the beds, and then afterwards we realized, okay, maybe that's really nice, but maybe we don't even need to do that. Let's try it without. You see us installing chicken wire here, and that's probably a really good idea, and maybe we should have done that everywhere, but we didn't end up doing that everywhere. So we're going to have to see what works and what, in a way, what can we get away with and what is essential for setting up growing space here. So we're ready to learn, and we'll bring you alongside with us if anything is a no-go or a win.
All right, so here is our garden bed. Version 1.0. We added compost to the bottom just above the chicken wire and then mixed that in with the soil that we had dug out. And then we added a little bit of plant food. And before we do the top layer with some potting soil, we're gonna wait for our starts. Our seeds are still in start mode. They're being germinated because we had snow today. In like about a month, when those are 4 or 5 weeks-ish and ready to go in the ground, then we'll be putting stuff out here. Hopefully it gets enough sun. There's this big tree in the middle of the sky that seems to hold back the sun during parts of the day, but here it is. Yay.
So speaking of snow, here we had our last late winter snowstorm in early March, and Thomas was actually down and out with a cold during this time. So here Ellie and I are having some fun out in the snow, getting some outside time, trying to cheer Dada up with a little snowman, and also just checking things over. There wasn't a whole lot of work to do because there were no plants in the ground, but the garden was also just very beautiful in the snow, and it was cool to see it that way.
All right, so we've been procrastinating on putting our compost in the ground. Here it is. We're gonna take all these little buckets and we're gonna get them in the ground.
Here we are, we just got in from Hawaii and we're eating some fries. Yummy. And we have our plants and we have our cat. There you are. I know you're back there. You can hear him. And we are going home, our little growing family.
All right, so we're back from Hawaii and we are getting the garden all prepped. So I have our starts here, kindly started by the folks over at Food Waves. And we have spinach and various arugulas. We have some brassicas. We have lettuces and cabbages, chard and kale. And so I'm gonna be prepping this. I prepped this bed today. I went and got a bunch of potting soil, and as you can see here, it's nice and it's looking pretty nice, and it's pretty workable with the hands, very soft. Though it could be looser, especially a few inches down. I can definitely poke my fingers in, with relative ease down to, about 4 inches, but at some places it's not as deep. And so I'm gonna add just a little more soil with some amendments. I'm just using Dr. Earth here, right here. Some veggie mix. It's like, 463 NPK, and I just put some in here. I'm gonna mix it up with my hands and then layer it over the top, and then I'm gonna plant. Today I'm just gonna do lettuce, arugula, and spinach in this bed, and then we're gonna be building additional beds throughout the rest of this area. We're gonna have a couple of rows eventually of more in-ground beds. So yeah, I'm gonna get to it. Geneva and Eleanor are inside, still recovering from a stomach bug that we had. I'm still recovering from that stomach bug, but well enough to get out here, get my hands dirty, get a little sun. It was beautiful earlier today when I was prepping the bed, and I'm just finishing the job here so I can go inside and enjoy the rest of the evening with the family. All right, so we got the rest of our starts from Food Waves. There they are. We've got our first bed growing. Stuff is starting to show signs of growth, which is really cool. And we've got our bed. Our second bed is here. I'll show it to you. Here, ready to go. I'm gonna throw some cardboard in the bottom, some compost on top of that, and then soil on top of that. And we're gonna repeat that process with the other bed. Maybe not today. I just picked up a bunch of more soil and compost, so I'm gonna get that out of the car first.
I'll put a link to these garden beds where we got them in the description for you guys in case anybody is looking for something like this. We got a 2-pack of their 4-foot by 8-foot size, and just for the look and the materials that we were going for, this was one of the cheapest things that we could find. And I actually got it on a recommendation from a YouTube channel that I watch a lot, Three Rivers Homestead. So I will link her video where I heard of these garden beds, and then I'll also just put the Amazon link directly in here for you.
So we have some extra little plants over here, arugula mostly. And we have these little planters along our deck. So we're gonna put the arugula in those little planters. And Ellie is helping tremendously, helping feed the plants. Good job.
Microdose.
So today, gonna be building our next bed here. Geneva's got it started, our in-ground bed. Let's keep chipping away.
After we broke ground on the very first bed, it felt to me like everything else after that went way more quickly. We had our starts ready to go, and we could just dig additional beds for them as they needed to be planted.
I'm in farmer mode today. We've got a bunch of soil. I literally, because I don't have a truck, I literally just get these tubs and I fill them all up with soil and compost and whatnot.
So we just kept rolling. We dug 2 in-ground beds to go next to the very first bed that we built, and then we set up the second raised bed and planted everything.
Look at this. The Napa cabbage is coming along. Cauliflower. Broccoli slowly growing. But the arugula's doing great. Spinach is doing great. Lettuces are starting to form heads, just barely. Chard is coming. And let's go over. We got some flowers here now. Let's go over to the kale and kohlrabi. Kohlrabi's starting to become little bulbs. Look at that. And more. Parsley. Squash is not doing so good. What is this guy? Zucchini squash? Yeah. Bought it as a start instead of from seed. Mistake.
Now here we are in May, and it feels like we have a proper garden. We have the greens continuing to grow and mature in their beds. We've been cleaning up the existing plants in the garden. And of course, continuing to compost and fight back the weeds and the grass.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take
And while we've come so far, there really is so much further to go. Everywhere we look, there's a little piece of trash left over we could pick up. There's projects we could do to solidify and beautify the space more. Literally everywhere we look. So it is 100% a work in progress, and it's also amazing that it can be so incomplete and also still so productive and so far along. We are really finding so much joy in being outside in the garden, and Ellie loves it, and the more we work on it, the more it also gives us joy to experience the beauty on the rest of the property around us. We truly have come to a beautiful place.
As the afternoon we lay